We are Mike and Jeannie, and we restore old houses. In 2021, we moved to South Carolina and bought a 120-year-old Victorian house. Follow along as we put the polish back on this Victorian masterpiece.
Welcome back to 1834 Restoration House.
We own a 130-year-old Victorian house. It needs a lot of work. And in this week's episode, we're shifting gears. We're going to get ready to go upstairs and prepare to install a furnace.
Mike started gathering woodworking tools when we got our 1834 Second Empire house. And it was mainly to restore the house, but also for some furniture, hopefully, at some point. Well, then we moved here, and we have been working on our 130-year-old Victorian house. And we've gotten a lot of projects out of the woodworking tools. This is our first piece of furniture out of it. My blanket chest. It is finally finished, except for the hinges. We haven't found the right hinges yet. So we'll keep looking for those, but the rest of it is finished, and I do have a few things in there. So I'm excited. It's in the room and it's done.
We are in one of the bedrooms upstairs at our old Victorian house, and right above me is the attic access, the only attic access in the entire house. I need to go up inside there and take some measurements because that opening needs to be enlarged so that we can put a furnace up there. A few months ago, we talked about how the second floor has no climate control. There's no heat, there's no air conditioning. So that makes the upstairs area uninhabitable for a few months out of the year. Now we're going to see if we can correct that. As you can see, this opening is barely big enough for me to get through, let alone any kind of heating or cooling equipment. So let's take this off. Set that aside for a moment. A few months ago, we came up here and we cut some of the rafters back and we framed a new opening so that we could have a new door. Now, this area right here is the area that we're going to remove. So we'll cut this out and we'll cut this out here. The door that we currently have is too small, so we're going to have to fabricate a new one. So my mission today is to get up here and measure and find out how big this new door needs to be. According to the measuring tape, we need about 20 inches this way and just shy of 32 inches the other way. It's important to take note here because the bead boards travel in this direction. So that's going to be the 20 inch and the other will be the 32. Before I get out of here, I want to show you something. We talked about time aging of wood. So take a look at this. This is an example of brand new wood. And that is a piece of 130-year-old wood. That one back there, I'm not sure what's up with it, but it's almost black. That's a really old board right there. Before I can cut that opening, I need to build the door for it. And before I build the door, I need to go find some boards that we've had laying around for a while and get them prepared. So I'm going to run them through the shop, get them jointed, planed, cleaned up, cut to size, and then we'll start machining them down and make beadboard out of them. Now, beadboard you can buy, but this beadboard here, you probably can't buy. And so we're going to have to make it ourselves, and that's one of the reasons we built the wood shop, is so that we could replicate anything that we come across. And this is a good case of that. All right, everybody, we're back here in the wood shop, and I'm going to go ahead and start preparing some boards for this door. So we are basically going to build a new door like this for the attic access, and we're going to use these boards to do it. So this is southern yellow pine, same as this, only this one's yellow, that's dark brown. Well, it is what it is. So what I need to do first is measure and see how wide these boards are originally. So I can't trust the end boards, so I'm picking one that's in the middle here, and it looks to me like the overall length of the board is 3 3/4 inches. And that's how wide these boards need to be cut to. But first, we're going to run them through and get them cleaned up. We did some quick math and we determined that we need 9 20-inch boards to make this new door. Now, measuring these boards, we discovered that we can make 8 20-inch boards, not 9. But we do have some left over, and with our shop and our techniques here, we can actually take the leftover scraps, splice them together, and make the 9th board out of that. So it looks like we have enough to do what we need to do, and as usual, a little bit left over. I took those 2 boards outside and cut them down into smaller pieces. These are 20.5 inches long. Always cut them a little long. I'm going to go ahead and run them through the jointer real quick and get one side flat. I measured the original boards and they are 3/4 of an inch thick. The boards that I just flattened are thicker than that, and so I need to thin them down. We'll do that here on the planer, but I have all this walnut sitting here that will eventually become stereo cabinets. So let's get this out of the way. All of the boards cleaned up real nice, except for this one here. It didn't quite get cleaned up. One more pass would have done it, but we're at 3/4 of an inch. Now, does that matter? No, it doesn't, because this part here will show, looking up, the backside here can be completely rough and nobody cares because it's up in the attic. It just happened to work out that we needed to trim off most of the roughness on the backside anyway, just to hit 3/4 of an inch. So we're all good in that regard. I'm going to run one edge through the jointer just to get it cleaned up, and that edge will become the groove. The other edge, which has the tongue on it, is going to get routed off anyway when we put it through the router. So I'm not too concerned about that, but I want the worst edge gone, and we'll do that first. So how many woodworking shops have a coal-burning Victorian fireplace? Probably not too many anymore. But anyway, this used to be a dining room, and we turned it into a woodworking shop temporarily just so we can work on the house and other projects. Eventually this room will be restored and it'll be beautiful. But for now, it kind of serves a purpose. Now I have some bad news. We went looking for the tongue and groove bits to put the tongues and grooves on these things, and I know we have them because we use them up in New York to make our floorboards. We found the box, but it was empty, so there's no bit. Without the bit, we can't continue, and we're kind of out of time. So I apologize that this is such a short video, but we'll try to do better on the next one.
Thank you for watching 1834 Restoration House.